So, you've probably heard of dollar cost averaging, right? It's that simple, consistent way to invest. But what if you could take that simple idea and really supercharge it? Well, today, we're going way beyond the basics. We're going to talk about how to truly master this strategy. Let's get into it.
All right, here's our game plan. We're going to start with a super quick refresher on DCA, just to get on the same page. Then we'll get into the advanced mindset. After that, the fun part. 3 powerful strategies you can use. Then we'll cover the mistakes you've got to avoid. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with your path to mastery.
Okay, Section 1, a quick DCA refresher. Before we jump into all the cool advanced stuff, let's just lay the groundwork. It's really important that we all have the same foundation, because everything else we're going to talk about builds right on top of this.
So at its heart, dollar cost averaging is just beautifully simple. It just means you're investing a set amount of money, like say $100, on a totally regular schedule. Maybe it's the first of every single month, and you do it no matter what the market is up to, whether it's soaring or crashing. And this is where the magic happens. Because you're investing the same amount of money each time, you automatically end up buying more shares when the price is low and, you guessed it, fewer shares when the price is high. Over time, this smooths everything out and lowers your average cost per share. That's the whole point.
Okay, Section 2, the advanced DCA mindset. Now look, basic DCA is fantastic. It's a great start. But to really level up your game, we need a little shift in thinking. We're moving from just setting it and forgetting it to actively optimizing our strategy. This is a really crucial step.
Think about it like this. Basic DCA is really all about consistency. It's automation. But advanced DCA, that's where you start layering on things like strategy, better timing, and your own personal goals. You're not just a passenger anymore. You're in the driver's seat, making every single dollar work smarter. So, let's get practical. How do we actually do this? In Section 3, we're going to dive into 3 really powerful strategies that you can add to your toolkit right away. This is how you take control.
We're going to break down 3 main approaches. First, something called variable DCA. Then, a hybrid of DCA and lump sum investing. And finally, my favorite, goal-based DCA. First up, variable DCA. This is cool. Instead of that same fixed amount every month, you adjust how much you invest based on what the market is doing. So you might have a rule. If the market drops 10%, you invest 50% more than usual that month. It's like putting your DCA on steroids during a sale. The key here is to have your rules set in advance. This is about discipline, not emotion.
All right, strategy 2, the hybrid approach. So what happens when you suddenly get a chunk of cash, a bonus from work, a tax refund, an inheritance? Putting it all in the market at once feels kind of scary, right? This strategy is the perfect solution for that exact problem.
You basically get the best of both worlds. For example, you can take a portion, let's say 60% of that cash, and invest it right away. Get it in the market, let it start working. Then you take the other 40% and you dollar cost average it in over the next few months. This way, you reduce the risk of dumping all your money in right at a market high. It's a really smart balance. And our third strategy, goal-based DCA, is all about making this stuff personal. It's about connecting your investment plan directly to your actual life goals. It's not just about investing, it's about investing for something. This makes a ton of sense when you think about it. If you're saving for a down payment on a house you want to buy in 3 years, you're probably going to DCA into something pretty low risk. But for a goal like retirement that's decades away, you can be way more aggressive and just automate your DCA into broad index funds. You're matching the strategy to the timeline. Okay, Section 4. This part is huge. Knowing all these cool strategies is great, but avoiding the traps is just as crucial. So let's talk about the common mistakes that can totally wreck your progress. There are 4 big ones. First, and this is the biggest, is stopping your contributions when the market tanks. That's literally the best time to be buying. Second, letting your emotions, fear or greed, drive your decisions. That's a recipe for disaster. Third, not paying attention to transaction fees. They can eat up your returns. And finally, the set it and completely forget it trap. You have to check in on your plan at least once a year to make sure it still makes sense.
And now, let's bring it all home. Section 5, your path to mastery. We've talked strategy. We've talked about what not to do. So what are the big principles that lead to long-term success?
You know, when you boil it all down, it really comes back to this simple but super powerful idea. Discipline to stick with your plan, consistency to keep showing up, and strategy to make sure you're doing it smartly. You put those 3 things together, and that is the formula for long-term wealth.
And if you remember only one thing from our time today, let it be this. Mastering DCA has nothing to do with being a genius who can time the market. Nobody can do that consistently. It's all about committing to spending time in the market and letting your steady, strategic actions do the heavy lifting for you over the long haul.
So, I'll leave you with a question to think about. After hearing all this, what's your DCA strategy going to be? Are you using these tools to really make your money work as hard as it possibly can for you?